We've covered all 3 seasons of the hit Disney Plus series, The Mandalorian, so it was only fitting that we also caught the theatrical follow-up, The Mandalorian and Grogu. The film marks the return of Star Wars to the big screen, but is it just for fans of the Disney Plus series, or does it perhaps offer something for everyone? Tune in for the answer to that question and much more on a new episode of Watch, Review, Repeat, which begins now. Welcome to Watch, Review, Repeat. This is the podcast where two best friends discuss the latest in film and television and then do it all over again the following episode. My name is Colton Brown, and joining me, Andrew Meadows.
Hey, I'm here.
Hello.
This is the way.
This is the way. That's right. First time we've sat in our respective chairs, and I think a couple weeks, we saw a movie. We were actually covering back-to-back theatrical releases, if you can believe it.
Incredible.
But, of course, punctuated by a bonus episode that we put out in the middle. But, yeah, no, we last recorded to talk about Mortal Kombat 2, and we're talking about another movie that starts with an M, although technically it starts with the. But
it's always put to the end. Yeah.
When you're putting it on the shelf, you put in the M's, I think. Otherwise, you're just going to have a whole bunch of the. That's not good for anyone.
That's not the way you do it. Yeah, that's
right. No. We're talking about The Mandalorian and Grogu. This is the way, because we're talking about The Mandalorian and Grogu. We've been sitting on this, I guess, a little bit. We both saw it, I think.
Before, right? Did we see it? No, I saw it after.
I think you saw it after we talked about Mortal Kombat. I think I had seen it before because I saw it opening weekend.
Yeah,
I think right. You saw it, if not opening week, I think probably I think you saw it early enough that you could see it maybe in Dolby or IMAX or some sort of premium format, 4D, big D. I'm not sure. You'll have to talk about it. Let us know.
It's originally an option.
But we thought maybe we would cover it last week. We ended up taking the week off because I think you were a bit busy with things, and now we've reconvened. So it's finally time to talk about The Mandalorian and Grogu, and we're I don't know. I mean, we're talking about it actually on the pretty early end of things for us. We're starting a little bit earlier than normal.
The sun's out.
I don't know what the hell's going on, but the sun's out. We've got so much energy, so much pep in our step. I mean, I don't know. Might make for a pretty fun episode. We'll see.
Energy is high. We'll see what's going on.
The energy is high. Let's keep the energy high. If you have a mythological trivia question.
I do. I can't remember. So Bennett came in here recently while I was trying to do some magic card sorting and messed with my trivia cards. So there is a chance that this is a revisited thing.
Okay. Well, I it's one of those things I listen to these episodes multiple times, so I'm probably likely to know if we've done it before, but why don't you lay it on me and we'll see.
Right. What
Maybe I'll just pretend. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know. I've never heard that before. Let me get the answer right. Yes.
Totally play into it. What blacksmith god was unhappily married to Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love? A, Ares. B.
Let me cut you off. I think it's Hephaestus, but we'll find out. Give me the rest of the options.
All right.
Just wanted to put it on the record. See if I'm wrong.
A, Ares. B, Poseidon. C, Hephaestus. Or D, the armorer.
The armorer? That's what it says on the card? It just says the armorer?
No, I threw that one in there a little bit because the Mandalorian armor is called the armorer.
Thing. I was like, man, they're really throwing everyone a bone with this card. Like, hey, we got to give them one fucking really stupid answer. But I see what you did there. I didn't even catch on.
Funny. Yep. So
what's the actual D on there? Did they give you a real god?
Yeah, Hermes. Sure.
Hermes. Okay. There was one that you read out. I forget what it was, but I looked it up and it was a Star Trek thing. I'm pretty sure. Like they just threw some Star Trek shit in there, and
really,
like, we didn't even notice it. Like I didn't, because I was just like, who the fuck is that? Like what? Like it was one of the multiple choice options. Like, huh? You know?
Doesn't sound right.
Anyway, I am going to stick with my answer of Hephaestus.
You'd be correct. Congratulations. That question was previously asked on episode 20 or 200. What episode are we on now?
Well, this is 327.
Yeah, previously asked on 315. So
I actually think it is a new one. I think it is a new one. And I'm not just saying that. I don't recognize it, but I did know the answer, and I'm attributing that to Hades 2. My many hours sunken into Hades 2 this year. So, yeah, we're keeping the energy high. Let's see if we can keep the energy high when we talk about The Mandalorian and Grogu, because that's what we're here to do, and we're going to do it now. The film is still playing in theaters. It will almost certainly be making its way to... I assume it'll still get a proper VOD release at some point, but definitely will probably be on Disney Plus by the end of the year. The film was written by Johnny V, Mr. Johnny V himself, sometimes known as Jon Favreau. Also written by Dave Filoni and Noah Clore. Directed by Johnny V. Film stars Pedro Pascal, Jeremy Allen White, Brendan Wayne, Lateef Crowder, Johnny Coyne, and Sigourney Weaver. After the fall of the Galactic Empire, Din Djarin, aka the Mandalorian, and his apprentice Grogu are enlisted by the New Republic to rescue the son of a former crime lord in exchange for information about an Imperial warlord. Little mission action for Mando and Grogu.
I wish I could do like the theme. I keep wanting to do the theme song with my mouth, but I don't know it well enough to do it. And so I keep better than me because I feel like I just put out. That's it right there. That's good.
It's time for a fun fact. Okay.
It's pretty good. Could probably put that in the intro.
All right. I'm told. A little birdie told me that you had a fun fact.
My ass got a fun fact this week, dude.
About the Mandalorian and Grogu, which to me says maybe you're I don't know, you got maybe you're pumped for this episode. I don't know.
So we recently watched. I'm going to preface my fun fact with a little callback to an episode that we did on Jason and the Argonauts. Had some awesome,
fortuitous timing because it just went on the regular feed prior to this. This might be news to you, but yes, very very fortuitous. It sounds like. Anyway,
we did a bonus episode on Jason and the Argonauts. One of the hallmarks of that was like the coolest thing I thought in that movie was the special effects for the time, which it was like all stop motion, and there was live action people, like people were doing things with stop motion, like overlaid it. And so there was combat and all this, and it was very cool. And for the time, it must have been mind blowing, I'm sure. Right? There is stop motion in The Mandalorian and Grogu. And it's interesting because there's a tremendous amount of CG, right?
Yes, but this is not a film brought fully to life with stop motion animation or anything.
No, but there is stop motion in it.
Okay.
And when the stop motion is present, for me, anyways, I think it was probably. No, it's not even probably. It's the most incredible parts of the movie, I think. And it's fascinating that we live in a world of completely animated things. And I think that the most like riveting parts of the movie were the things that were, it's like utilizing technology and techniques and special effects that were made, 60 years ago,
For sure. Yeah.
I think it's, I don't know. I think it's, and you look it up online, you read people's responses and stuff to it, and people are like, wow, what is this? That looked awesome. Blah, 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 blah. Well, it's technology that's 60 years old, We're just used to like the flimsy stuff in the computer. Anyways, fun fact, those stop motion things were brought to us by a studio called Phil Tippett Studios. And Phil Tippett did a lot of stop motion animation in like the original Star Wars movies. He also did RoboCop. I think was it RoboCop 2? I think it was RoboCop 2, wasn't it? With the two-legged deal.
I think it's in the first one, but
was it the first one?
Both.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, Phil Tippett's been around for a very long time, and he's got 2 droids in here. They're called Tippett droids. They have their own names. I can't recall what their own names are, but they're like these giant things, and it's all stop motion animated. And I thought it was very cool, very fascinating to read about. And there's also a lot of other characters that were animated by him throughout this movie, and I think that I hope that there's more places for animation like this, and like in a live action medium. It doesn't have to be a complete stop motion movie for it to be used. You know what I mean? I think it.
Sure. Yeah.
I think it went a long way in this movie, and so that's where I'm at. Phil Tippett Studios, I think, is some of the best stuff in this movie. So. That actually it brought an immense amount of joy to see that on the big screen for me. So
yeah.
Fun fact. Stop motion animation, Phil Tippett Studios.
Very cool. Keeping I guess the legacy of your Ray Harryhausen's alive. I mean, it's sort of a lost art, right? I mean,
totally.
Do you really see outside of your I guess Wallace and Gromit and things that are very, very deliberately, I guess Leica is a big, studio that obviously has done animated movies with that sort of technology. And the live action space, it's definitely a lost art that you don't really see. And this is a good candidate of a movie where I think it fits in, I think, pretty seamlessly. Noticeably, like I think you can tell when it happens, oh, that's not CGI, but it looks good, and it's very neat. But
brings character to probably. Things,
Yes, it adds character in a way that your standard, even very well animated, well illustrated CGI characters just can't. It's just different, fundamentally different. So, very cool addition and inclusion in this movie. Of a small fun fact, which I actually had initially as something I was going to say at the top of the episode, and I thought, well, maybe I'll hold it back. It's been 2,345 days. Well, not since we're recording. As of the time that The Mandalorian and Grogu hit cinemas in May, the end of May, it had been 2,345 days since a Star Wars movie had debuted in theaters. That translates to 6 years, 5 months, and 2 days, or 77 months and 2 days between the release of The Rise of Skywalker and The Mandalorian and Grogu. It's been a long time since we've had a big theatrical release for Star Wars. Obviously, people have thoughts on The Rise of Skywalker. We had thoughts on The Rise of Skywalker. We probably continue to have thoughts on The Rise of Skywalker. I think I had the realization in talking about it with Anna the other day that I don't think I've seen it since it came out in theaters. I think I saw it twice, but I don't think I've watched it since then, which is kind of crazy. Perhaps telling.
I've done like the beginning. Like when I get new speakers, I like to do the beginning.
Test it out. So it's got some reference stuff in there.
Yeah,
I recall it being technically well made. My issues, I think, lied elsewhere with that film. I do want to revisit it. Anna has sworn it off and pretends it doesn't exist.
That's fair.
I think that's reasonable, but I don't know. I think I technically own it on 4K, so I guess I can't just fully ignore its existence. So anyway, some other day I'll check it out. I think I joked and said I would do it when she's out of town. Which doesn't happen that often, but perhaps there will come a time. So yeah, first Star Wars movie in nearly 7 years. Seems like it'd be a pretty big deal, right? I guess maybe that works. That brings us to the next topic of conversation: a box office breakdown. Box office breakdown. I figured there's some way to tie it in, but you got it. You nailed it. First time we're doing a box office breakdown for something that The Mandalorian related. That's interesting. Also worth saying, I think we've covered every season of The Mando prior to this. I think we've done that. I think we've covered every. I think we've dedicated an episode to each season. So check those out. Obviously for some. Maybe needed, maybe not needed context for this episode, for this movie, but we'll get into that. Box office breakdown right now. The Mandalorian and Grogu was expected to come in with a pretty solid opening, and it did deliver a pretty solid opening. It was not a franchise best or anything like that, and in fact, it actually came in just a little under its opening projections. And let's see, its official debut was $81.7 million in its opening weekend. I believe it opened over. I think it opened over the Memorial Day weekend. I think it was the long weekend that it opened on, so it did have like a 4-day thing. $98.1 million over the 4-day frame. So it did fall just a little short of $100 million. And basically what that means is it's kind of doing solo numbers, which isn't great.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of that's the lowest, I think, maybe grossing film other than, I guess, the Clone Wars. I'd have to check and see what the Clone Wars movie did. In terms of box office, that might technically be the lowest for the franchise. But yeah, I mean, for the live action side of things, this is kind of in that solo tier of, I guess it's not horrible, but it's not great. You know, like good enough as in terms of its opening weekend. I think, unfortunately, where things have fallen off, the wheels have really fallen off in the weeks since. We're now, I think, going into week 3 or 4 of it being out. And, you know, it's hanging around. It's still making a little bit of money here and there, but it has lost quite a bit of its legs. I mean, part of that, I mean, I think there's a number of reasons that we can probably get into for that, of, you know, who's this movie for? Why aren't as many people seeing this as maybe have seen other Star Wars things? You know, things I think we'll probably talk about in non-spoilers. I think one of the biggest things to talk about is the things it didn't account for. I think people just assume, maybe Lucasfilm, Disney just assume Star Wars sells itself. It's Star Wars. People love Star Wars. People are going to go see Star Wars. It's a cool looking guy. It's a cute little baby guy. You know, like what do we need to do to sell this movie? It's going to sell itself. I don't think they accounted for Backrooms and Obsession fucking owning the box office.
That
2
is
films,
true.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think maybe, I don't even know if I don't think we talked about trailers for either of those. I think they've really caught I
thought we talked about Obsession.
The country by storm. We might have. I can't specifically recall. It's been a while since we've done a Brews News and Previews. But those were 2 movies that were, you know, I think Backrooms is A24. Obsession was, I think, maybe, I think put out by Focus. I think Blumhouse got involved at some point.
One had a budget of less than $1 million, or less than $100 million.
Obsession had a budget of less than $1 million, and right now its box office is at $234 million, which is obviously insane. Backrooms was the highest debut for an A24 movie ever. It made I think 80-something million in its opening weekend. I have to check the you know, exact numbers on it.
Iron Lung just did the same thing. I don't know if we talked about that or not.
Was that the Markiplier one?
Yeah.
That was earlier this year. That one did quite well. Yeah. No, I mean, there's a big trend of $81.5 million domestically for Backrooms, which is crazy for an A24. Also directed by someone who's 20 years old, which is fucking nuts.
YouTuber, right? That one was a YouTuber as well.
Yeah. Like, it's all. Like,
I love to see it happen.
This is like youth driven stuff, and like the theaters are like, I'm sure anyone in the industry, I'm sure Dalton, you know, my brother could talk about, you know, like, this is great, this is awesome, you know. Yeah, if you're a big Star Wars fan and you're a big Mando fan, like, maybe you're going to be disappointed by the fact that Mando isn't making huge amounts of money or whatever, but like cinema is actually so far this year in a really good place, and like the best place it's been probably since pre-pandemic times. I mean, and it's just been driven by these kind of unexpected
new creatives,
at least to me, you know, unexpected places of, you know, things I think that are really being driven by you know, younger audiences that are up for, you know, movies like Backrooms and Obsession, and maybe don't give as much of a shit about Star Wars, right? You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's interesting, but I mean, at the end of the day, The Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be outgrossed by both of those movies. I think probably even maybe not necessarily worldwide, although Mando's not doing a ton overseas, so it's getting the bulk of its stuff from the domestic side of things. And you know, I think if there's anything, you know, it's not a solo level failure in the sense that Solo had an absurd production budget that was ballooned by the fact that they made that movie twice in a way.
True.
With firing the directors and then bringing in old Ron Howard. This one was made a little bit more cheaply, not for cheap, not for under $1 million, obviously. I think they probably spent several obsessions on
Pedro.
Just paying Pedro, paying Pedro to show up for a scene or two and have the helmet off and voice some stuff here and there.
I'm curious what
crazy.
Backrooms paid. I'm curious what the budget was for. Who's the star of Backrooms? I can't say his name.
Chiwetel Ejiofor is in it, and
yes.
Renata Ryan Sve, I think, were the two leads. I don't know what. I don't know what anyone's making, but I can tell you that the budget for the whole movie was $10 million, which again might be less than what Pedro's getting for Mando potentially.
Yeah,
just wild. Anyway, not a great box office run for The Mandalorian and Grogu. Obviously, it's going to continue to drop as other things are coming out. Now we're getting some bigger movies coming out in June. So it is what it is. Obviously, I'm sure Disney would have liked to seen it do more, but I don't know. I think it's going to feed into what we're talking about next, which is non-spoilers. And I think to me, an open question is, I don't know, like, why aren't people seeing this, in the same way that they maybe seen other Star Wars movies? But we don't have to start with that question, but we can move on to non-spoilers. Maybe you want to talk about how you watched it, where you watched it, all that stuff, how you felt about it. So yeah, we'll open it up for non-spoilers. I'll kick it over to you, whatever you want to talk about.
Well, I guess we can start with how I watched it. Went and saw it in Dolby.
Dolby.
Oh,
Nice.
no,
Okay.
no, I didn't see it in Dolby.
Not Dolby.
I saw it in IMAX. I'm sorry.
Oh, yes, forged in IMAX. I think there's like 50-something minutes to have the expanded ratio.
Yeah. I saw it in a Limax, probably the worst one I could have seen it in the Tampa Bay area, in Brandon. I think if you're going to see it, I think it's my opinion that if you're going to see an IMAX movie in the Tampa Bay area, the best one that I've been to has been the one off of Veterans. I think that's a pretty serviceable IMAX. The Brandon one, I don't think the audio is very good.
Yeah, I think they're all IMAXs at this point, right?
They are.
I don't think there's any true IMAXs
in that area. As far as I know, there's not.
Yeah, but obviously within the Limaxes, there's clearly, as you can attest, some that are better than others.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the sad thing about IMAX is it seems like the standards are just a little bit.
Right, it's supposed to be a uniform experience. Like it meets the mark for IMAX. It should be fucking pristine. It should be the best.
Give or
but
take
it's not. I think
25%.
I think Dolby's the more consistent experience.
Definitely.
I think it helps obviously that a lot of the Dolby auditoriums are a lot newer, so they probably are all kind of constructed with the specifications in mind. But yeah, I think Dolby's the more consistent experience. Just no matter where you go, as long as the air conditioning is working or whatever. I think you had some interesting experiences in Michigan. I tell you what, it
would be cool. I mean, it'd be really cool to go to visit all the theaters. You know what I mean? Just go to different places and watch a movie somewhere. I think that would be a pretty cool thing to do if you were like retired.
If that was a job that I could get paid for,
I can do it. That'd be good.
Airfares paid for, driving, rental cars. You just pay for gas. Yeah, I could do that. I could be persuaded.
That'd be excellent. That was a side note, but so saw it in Brandon. Had a couple of brewskis. The price that I haven't gotten beer at that theater in a while, and I think the beer's gone up. But I'm happy to pay it and support my local theater, right? So I pay $28 for 2 beers. And I go and I sit down and I actually, if I recall correctly, I was by myself for a long time in that IMAX theater. And that was pretty cool.
Okay. You did. Someone crashed the party. It sounds like.
I think somebody crashed the party in the middle of the trailers. They sat behind me, so I was no longer by myself, but it was a very empty IMAX auditorium, which a movie by yourself, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like movies with a lot of people, but I also like watching a movie by myself.
That's a distraction-free environment unless you invite your own distractions, I guess.
That's true. Both are good experiences. But aside from that, there were the aspect ratio changes that they do in IMAX, which is cool. The audio is while it's better than a standard theater, it's not nearly as good as the Dolby Auditorium in that particular theater. And also there's no recliners or anything in that one, which is it's okay. I mean, that's fine, but Dolby always has the recliners, and that's nice.
Given the option, you take the recliner.
Yeah, absolutely. So actual movie things.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
You posed the question at the top of the episode. Why aren't all the Star Wars fans coming out in droves to watch this movie?
Do you have the answers?
I mean, I am. Yeah. I mean, well, I don't know if they're the definitive answers, but I have my opinion.
You have your own answer. Okay.
Yeah, I think while I am a fan of The Mandalorian,
being the TV show, the
continuation core. I'm a fan of I'm a fan of certain episodes. I'm a fan of 50% of the episodes of The Mandalorian, right?
Okay, sure.
I can see why somebody would be less motivated to go visit in movie theaters because it's a wildly inconsistent show. I think that's fair to say. I think it's maybe not wildly, but it's definitely inconsistent. And like the quality and like what you get. Like we have a Jack Black Lizzo episode what the fuck's going on there? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I can understand why it's not putting asses in seats. I think that, I mean, some of the marketing was okay. I mean, there was that they put the thing out with the AT-ATs walking on the cliff pass. That was cool looking.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, it's just my opinion. I like it's not a core like. It's not part like it's a detached thing as it is from like the main like Star Wars thing, and I like that. I like that a lot. But the fact that it's an inconsistent show, I think it makes it easier not to go see it in theaters. It's just what exactly is it? What are you getting when you go see this?
Well, and I don't want to just completely derail you and your thoughts, but I think you kind of bring it to an interesting point where it's like, yeah, I've watched the show. I've watched 3 seasons of this show, and it's inconsistent. I like it maybe overall. I'm going to go see this movie because I like it well enough that like, but maybe for a lot of people that have watched the show, they're like, I don't know if I need to go to a movie theater and watch more of this thing that like is like okay or good, but not like, holy shit, this is Dune, this is Marvel or whatever, Avengers. Like,
and is it advancing any sort of core story element within The Mandalorian?
Yeah, well, that's something we'll talk about probably more in spoilers. I think that ties into the other thing I'm going to talk about, which is okay. What about all the people that didn't watch The Mandalorian, being the TV show on Disney Plus?
That's true.
Do they feel like they can watch this movie? Should they watch this movie? There's 3 seasons of a show. It seems like that would be important context to have for this movie, and I'm not watching 30 episodes of a fucking TV show before I watch this movie in theaters.
True
like
point,
no way.
Yeah.
No way. But at the same time, I think this movie I think is designed for everyone in the sense that I think it's accessible for people that haven't watched the show. I think it's accessible for people that, have watched the show. And obviously it's not insulting to people that have watched the show. But at the end of the day, it almost feels like it's trying to thread that needle in a lot of ways of being palatable to anyone that doesn't know anything about The Mandalorian, doesn't really know anything about Grogu, and also palatable to the people who like the show, and doing that, it's kind of a big nothing burger, you know what I mean? Like in terms of plot elements, where it's just it's an adventure, it's just a mission, it's a few missions strung together, but in terms of advancing character, big galaxy-spanning stories, it's not even trying to be that. I don't think that's a spoiler to say. It's not even trying to be that. It's trying to just be a 2-hour sort of drop in the bucket in the Star Wars universe. And that's not necessarily a bad thing in and of itself, but I think that was relatively clear from the marketing, and I think that maybe is certainly a potential explanation for why people don't feel compelled to pony up and watch this, especially when they've got other choices that, their friends are talking about, or that, is kind of just more their thing, that feels like that's a thing that I would rather spend my money on. Maybe I'll watch this on Disney Plus in a few months' time, and maybe I won't be missing anything by doing that.
Maybe it'll feel like another season of the Mando.
Yeah, like a little 2-hour compressed, season, double episode sort of deal.
Is that okay? So here are my true thoughts on this season.
Yes.
Okay, why could it not? Why
Slip
could
of the tongue? This movie?
Why could seasons 1, 2, and 3? Do we get 3 seasons of the Mando so far?
3 seasons. Yeah, 3 seasons.
Why can't seasons 1, 2, and 3 be as tight of a series? Like, why can the series not be as tight as this movie? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because this movie served no other purpose other than to be what I thought could have been a season of The Mandalorian. This is everything that we got in this movie. Okay, could have just been another season of The Mandalorian. Could have been season 3. You know what I mean? Just 2 adventures. Boom, done. It could have been 8 episodes, or I guess it's only a 2-hour movie, right?
Well, I think that's the thing is, I think what maybe is happening with a lot of the Mando stuff is it's maybe 2 hours of content, and you've got an extra hour and a half kind of in there to take it to 8, but maybe it didn't need to be that way.
It just needed
maybe
to
take some of that.
Yeah, we get a 4. Every season could be a 4-episode miniseries.
Yeah, give it to us BBC style. Of you don't need 8 episodes. You don't need 10. You don't need 20.
No. Yeah, 4. We don't.
4.
We don't because
you got story for 4. Give us 4.
Yeah, and if you've got story for 8, that's great too. Okay.
For sure, yeah.
But we don't need the filler.
It doesn't have to fit into a box.
And
it must be 8 episodes. It must be 10 episodes. It doesn't have to fit into a box.
And we're effectively, I guess we'll talk about, we'll go into it in spoilers, I guess. Okay, but, it's just an adventure, And we spent the money to go watch it in theaters, but I could have watched it at home. It's the same thing I've gotten the past 3 seasons. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
So we're gonna talk about we'll talk about the CG. I don't know if this is gonna be a hot take or not. I thought the CG in this movie kind of looked like shit.
Okay.
We get they revealed Jabba's son,
right?
Braza. What's his name?
Rata,
and Rata come from the animated seasons too of I think Clone Wars or something. I can't remember.
He's definitely in the Clone Wars movie. There's too many parallels between this movie and that movie. It's not a movie you want to emulate in any sort of way. Yet here we are. But he might have been in the animated show too, because there's all the extended Hutt clan is definitely in the Clone Wars TV show and other things too. But yeah.
Anyways, we get Rata, the super buff gladiator.
He's a jacked Java.
But he's not. Well, we'll talk about it. We don't know about the. I don't think we know about the Hutt people or him. I think it might be spoiler territory, but we get the super jacked Hutt guy, right? I didn't think he looked very good. I also, I seeing it in that IMAX, I didn't think that AT-AT sequence looked very good either.
The one in the snow.
Yeah.
And, all that. Yeah. Okay.
So all the computer stuff I kind of thought looked kind of bad.
Yeah. Maybe IMAX is not doing it any favors.
No, definitely not. But I tell you what it did do favors with, and it's that stop motion animation. They do stop motion animation on those robots. At a certain point, it looks incredible. It adds a layer of texture and it just because the nature of the animation, it made the robots look rickety in a certain way.
Right. Yeah. Which felt like it's like perfect for what they're supposed to be.
Yes. Like it leveraged the story in a big way. And I don't know. I think it was actually very nuanced and very creative. And I think it was wildly creative to put it where they put it. I thought it was a very good choice. They put it in other spots too, like other robots were stop motion animated, if I recall correctly, and I think certain characters were too. And I think they did a lot with miniatures, and they did a lot of really, really like insightful, just really creative things. That after watching like the first sequence and stuff, I didn't think we were going to get. And so I thought that was really, really, really cool. I think this movie did a lot of really, really cool things, a lot of really creative things, and things that really got me really pumped. On the same side, I think that this movie slipped in a lot of other places. I think narratively, it was serviceable. I think that it was it was serviceable at best. I mean, it's okay. I didn't mind going to see it for the narrative. You know, it's okay. But I think it's a missed opportunity, definitely. I think that the CG was bad. I think the score was awesome. I think the score was it was very cool. And it was different too, I think, for The Mandalorian. I felt like it was, I don't know, I just really enjoyed listening to it. I thought it was a very listenable movie. And it had some cool sequences. The fight sequences were cool. And I think that's all I got off my memory. It did a lot of really so book note or bookend.
Yes.
It did
summary.
It did wildly creative things that I thought you just don't see a lot of, and it made me very excited. That's the one thing I'll remember from this movie. And if I only fast forward, if I only watch like the last, I don't know how long it is, but if the last half of the movie, right? I'll be happy with the last half of the movie, right? I think that it was a big missed opportunity narratively, and the CG looked like shit. So,
all right, that's fair.
I can't help to go back to Jason and the Argonauts.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that narratively that movie was kind of funky, but all the visual thing, I feel like it's like
I mean, it was definitely bolstered by its visual effects. It didn't have standout acting or, anything like that. I mean, very much a product of its time in many ways, and the one exception to that was the visual effects that were like obviously very different from what you see now, but still kind of stand the test of time because of the way that they were done. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know that I had as much issue with the CG in this one. I did think that, my concern with this going in was, is this just going to look and feel like a long episode of The Mandalorian? And I'd say it looked a cut above overall. I think it felt a bit more like a long episode of Mandalorian. I think in terms of the narrative and the structure of it felt, or maybe not even that, like almost, I think there's a point, I don't remember where it was, but I remember it being like a little bit of a cut to black or a fade to black. And it felt like you're going to hear the Ludwig score fire up and you're going to have to come back next week and, finish it up. But it just kept going. And I was just like, oh, that felt like it would have been an episode or, like an end of episode break kind of thing. So it did to me kind of feel like an extended, maybe 3 episodes of Mando stitched together sort of thing. Not in a super obvious or like noticeable way, but in a way where I think the narrative of it just didn't feel worthy of the big screen. Like I think the visuals, the scale of like, sort of the conflict, like I think it is a little bit bigger in scope than the TV show, generally has been, but I still found myself I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with this movie. I thought it was very fun. I thought it was enjoyable, but I do kind of feel like at the end, I feel like the next day, I feel like the next week, and now probably going on a couple weeks removed, there's not a lot that stands out from it. You know what I mean? There's stuff in the Mandalorian mainline TV show that like is fucking cool as hell and is still memorable. There are characters that are memorable. I don't know if I really feel that way about this movie. I think it will stack up as something perfectly serviceable as a follow-up to season 3 and maybe a precursor to more Mando if we get more Mando down the line. But I think it didn't need to be a theatrical release. It could have been a little Disney Plus special if they didn't want to make a full season. If they didn't have 8 episodes worth of content, that's fine.
If it would have been that,
I think you look at it differently, right?
How would you feel about it?
I think I'd be higher on it because I think that's kind of what it kind of ends up feeling like. Because I think, I don't know, there's something to be said for the big screen. Like, if you think about every Star Wars movie that's made it to the big screen, I guess so, maybe excluding the Clone Wars movie, like, you have the Skywalker saga, you have all the 9 big movies, and those are big movies where like that's the biggest deal, like the Skywalker story, Maybe you have disappointments, ebbs and flows in the quality, within each of those trilogies, but like they're a big deal, obviously once Disney took over Lucasfilm, like Rogue One, I don't know, maybe it wasn't a story that needed to be told, but it felt like shit mattered. Like it was a cool fucking story.
Yeah, right.
And it had these huge, huge moments and like characters that like, you met for a movie and then weren't going to appear past that movie for reasons. They're dead. They're all dead. But like it was fucking cool, and it ended with that Vader thing. It was just like it was just such that movie had like the last 30 minutes of that movie were just like this you wouldn't want to watch that on Disney Plus because it was so epic. It was so fucking cool.
That's not here.
Yeah, I think the problem that you have is like Solo kind of almost was the similar sort of thing to this, where it's just like Han Solo without Harrison Ford. That's a really hard sell from the get-go. But you're just not. It didn't have that same sort of draw of just being like, well, why should I care? For this you have the draw of, well, I like the Mandalorian, so I care from that standpoint, but. I also, even as someone that fits into that bucket, I want a reason to care about what's happening. Like, what's happening with the Mando on a personal level? What's happening with Grogu on a personal level? Like what's happening between, and this movie just weirdly, bizarrely enough, just kind of sidestepped doing anything from a character standpoint. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I just am overlooking.
Where's Grogu's people?
Subtle. But I don't know. I just kind of felt like
wanted anyway.
There was spectacle here. There was scope. There were cool fights. And I will say, I agree with you. Ludwig Göransson fucking crushed it. We do get the classic Mando stuff. And then we get, like you said, some kind of very non-Mando-like stuff that is awesome. Like, the soundtrack, the score is maybe the best thing about this movie.
Yeah, very cool.
And that's not an insult to the movie. That's a compliment to Ludwig just being fucking ridiculous at his craft. And it's insane. It's not even fair how fucking talented Ludwig Göransson is. Like, could have a whole 5-minute tangent about like he did this shit. I'm kind of doing it now, but like the variety of his work is what's really impressive. And then this movie is kind of the microcosm of the variety of his work within a single project,
a movie. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's really, really impressive. He's an insane talent. I mean, I'm glad that they were able to get him to do the movie of this. I think the movie's lesser if you have anyone else doing the score except for maybe John Williams. But even then, I think a John Williams score would feel totally different. I think it would change the feel of this movie.
Definitely.
It'd still feel Star Wars, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It's a very kind of different kind of movie without Ludwig kind of carrying it, in the way that you usually expect an actor to carry a movie. This movie is held back by the fact that its protagonist is not that interesting. He's cool. You know what I mean? The Mando is fucking badass. He's a badass. He's,
there was a moment that brought me to tears.
Okay, well, I'll be curious to hear about that. I don't remember anything getting me. I don't know. To me, this movie just didn't even have anything that even came close to unlocking that sort of emotionality that I would have liked to have had. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just being cynical. I'm not sure. Were there any other Rogue One
so
solo?
I've been kind of hard on it. I was kind of hard on it, narratively, right? But there is that moment that brings me to tears. But it's like it doesn't advance really anything that we've seen within like it doesn't bring anything different, right? It's just like a sequence that's supposed to make you feel a particular way, and it made me feel a particular way. That's great. You know what I mean? But it's not substantial enough to really change my opinion about the movie. So even though while it did bring me to tears, and while it was a well executed sequence within the movie, it's not something that I think was like within the scope of the entire film. It didn't really move the needle in a meaningful way. So
yeah, I gotcha. Well, I'll be curious to hear what that moment was. I mean, I guess I could see that there are some beats in here that feel like they could go in that direction, but yeah, I don't know. I think just, I guess my summary of my overall scattered thoughts: Ludwig, great. Number one note. Carries the movie. I think it's a very fun movie. I enjoy this movie. I had fun. I did watch it in IMAX to make that clear. I don't think I said that before, but and it was a fun IMAX watch. I saw it, I think, Sunday of opening weekend. It was a little busier than your theater. I don't think it was quite sold out, but a decent amount of people seem to be enjoying it. It's like a rollicking good time of a movie, but I think that it could have offered more in it. And to me, it just kind of felt like it wasn't trying to do anything groundbreaking for the franchise. It kind of just felt like it was, I don't know. It wasn't swinging for the fences. You know what I mean? It was, I'll hit a single, maybe if I'm fast enough, I'll get a double out of it.
It wasn't even spectacular enough to be a bunt, a successful bunt. Right.
No, bunt's almost too flashy. That's like it's a technical thing that it's not trying to be anything flashy like that, it's a single. That's good. You need a single. You want to get some runners on base. You might score, if someone, if you crack enough singles, I guess, but I don't know. It felt weirdly kind of nothing, for what it, I think, could have been. I mean, I think, I guess I'll save some of those thoughts for spoilers of like maybe what I thought it could have been or could have.
It would have been a very successful season 4, I think.
I think it could have been a fun season 4,
or a successful season 3.
I think it would have. To me, it almost feels like it should be part of a season 4 because I think that the beginning and the end point are kind of just the same thing, and I don't know that that's good enough for a season's worth of material. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a fun adventure. It's a rollicking adventure. I love a good adventure movie. Indiana Jones, Star Wars to an extent is always kind of an adventure movie, but like. Characters go from point A to point C by the end of the movie. You know what I mean? Like there's some sort of evolution in the journey. There's things that happen in the journey that, feel like big moments that feel like, and this had some things, but not enough that, characters are at point A. They go to planets X, Y, and Z. And then by the end of the movie, they're back at point A, more or less, not spoiling it specifically, but it's not anything that shakes up
right
these characters, the franchise in any sort of way that feels like it was trying to challenge an audience in any sort of significant way. And that's okay. It's a crowd pleaser, right? I think it's intended to be a crowd pleaser. I think it's generally successful at that. It pleased me for the two-ish hours that I watched it. I just don't think it left any sort of lasting impression on me other than I wish it left a lasting impression on me.
Yeah.
But, and that's hey, I spent, a few hours between driving and watching this in IMAX versus, hey, I watched this in 2 chunks on Disney Plus a few months after it came out. Those are different experiences, but you might still be getting
the same.
Like, you might be getting the same in terms of the content itself, but I think I think the level of investment, the more you put in and the less you get out of it, it's your Captain America Brave New World experience. It's not even that it was a horrible movie. It was just that like, it was such a fucking shit show for you that it's just like, why did I bother with this? Right. If I didn't have this podcast to rant and rave about this, like fuck, man, I'm going to stop going to movie theaters. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, that's what that movie did Oh, that was such a... Oh, man, I forgot about that.
So this is not that, to be clear.
No,
it certainly wasn't
not by
that for me. It doesn't sound like that was for you.
No, the big moments were big. The big moments were big, and I enjoyed the big moments.
And there were good, fun moments in it. But I don't know. I would watch it again. I'd fire it up again. I even thought about seeing it in theaters a second time, and not even just because I liked it that much, but in a sense of, shit, I'm going to have to talk about this. It'll have been a couple weeks since I watched it. Am I going to be okay to talk about it and like remember enough of it? I did not see it a second time. I'm too busy. There are other movies I'd probably spend my time on first.
Like there's two we talked about that I haven't seen. I really would have liked to see this.
I would watch one of those movies before I saw this a second time. Yes, quite honestly, because they're big deals. Like it feels like now we're behind the times. We don't know what the kids are watching these days, and I don't know, people are liking them. People are liking them. So, why don't we move into recommendation? I think I have a suspicion of where we're going to land on this collectively, but we could recommend that folks check this out in the theater. Obviously, at this point, IMAX Dolby is a no-go, so it would just be a standard auditorium.
Yeah, right.
But we could also recommend that people wait to watch it at home, be it on VOD, be it on streaming, aka Disney Plus, or we could wait for people to get paid to watch it. It's like a focus group. We will pay you $100 to watch The Mandalorian and Grogu. Like, you have to wait for that opportunity to come up. So what do you think? Again, I think we know where we're going to land on this.
Maybe. I don't know.
Based on the tenor of the conversation.
I think.
All right. Well, tell me what you think.
It's my opinion that I think I think most people would be fine to wait for it to come out on Disney Plus because it's every other experience they've had of Mandalorian. Mandalorian's had some really good highs. For me, like I said, it feels like you're booting up season 4 of The Mandalorian. A portion of season 4. I thought that was a very valid point that nothing really moves. Feels like it would be the beginning of season 4.
Maybe there's more that could come.
Right.
It's not necessarily here.
So I think, especially because we're beyond going to see it like in a premium format where it can be bigger, it can be louder, and it can really be a different kind of experience. Not that a normal theater experience isn't better than your home.
The normal theater is still better than most 99% of living room setups. Depending on the theater, some that may not be true for. So
especially narratively, I think that you're fine just watching this at your house.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think this is a prime watch at home sort of movie, and I think probably more particularly Disney Plus. And it's not an insult necessarily. It's just this movie doesn't strive for enough to make it worth that investment that a theater trip requires. It's getting to a theater. It's locking in for 2+ hours without a bathroom break, trying to put your phone away. Don't be an asshole. You might be if you're the only one in the theater, that's fine. Okay. You can look at your phone. Okay. I don't think anyone's going to fault you for that, but generally speaking, like, you go to a theater, you lock in for the 2-hour runtime. It's an experience. You set a time aside. You're working around someone else's schedule. You got to deal with 30 minutes of fucking previews. Like, it's a whole thing.
Right.
And
who said that? Didn't we just talk about like Carl Urban or somebody? Not Carl Urban. That's a country singer, right? No. Keith Urban. Keith Urban. No, Carl Urban.
Carl Urban is Johnny Cage.
And he was saying something about like it's our job to make movies that compel people to like go into the theaters, right? Isn't that what he said? Or somebody said that.
Someone did say that. What was that?
I feel like Dalton said something about that.
I mean, it's possible that Carl Urban said that. I think it wasn't Ryan Gosling say something like that? It
was Ryan Gosling. That's who it was.
Okay. Which, I mean, Project Hail Mary was a long movie, but it was a really compelling story. This is not a episode about Project Hail Mary, but to use that as that comparison, that's a fucking theatrical experience. That's you've got a huge adventure that takes. It's a space adventure, I guess. I guess this is also a space adventure. Very different space adventures from each other, to be clear. But that one had spectacle, it had heart, it had huge story and like big character moments and characterization, and it was just like it was a huge, a big arc for like your main character, kind of your only character.
A lot of growth
for the most part. Had so much growth and development within that 2 hours and 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever it was. Like it was a big deal. And this one, your runtime's over 2 hours.
And where did we go?
Mando's a fixed point, right? He's had 3 seasons where he's built up his armor. He's maybe a little less rough around the edges. He's working for the New Republic or whatever. But like, yeah, there's just not enough to push him in any sort of real way, in this movie. And so, I don't know, beating a dead horse, I guess, but I don't know. It really is a stark comparison of just how different experiences something like Project Hail Mary was, which obviously is now on VOD, will probably be on streaming on Prime in the next month or so. I'm sure we said as much when we recorded, but like, you should have seen that movie in a theater. I think you're missing a trick if you didn't see that in a theater.
Yeah.
It's still going to be a good movie at home. You're still probably going to like it. I still think it's worth watching if you missed it in theaters for whatever
100%.
reason. But like, you missed out. The Mandalorian and Grogu, if you haven't seen it in a theater already,
you can watch it. You can watch it at home.
Wait for Disney Plus. You'll be fine. You're not missing anything. You probably haven't been spoiled on this movie in any capacity, and that's because there's not much to spoil, to be quite honest. There's some specific things that happen in this movie, and we are going to do spoilers, of course. We'll talk about it. But in terms of big things, there's not a big thing in this movie. There is no big thing in this movie, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So there's just not enough in it to justify the theatrical experience. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It's a Disney Plus kind of movie, though. It really is a watch at home. I mean, whether you liked Mando or not, whether you've watched Mando or not, this could be your entry point in Mando, and then you like it well enough that like it sparks your interest, and you go back and watch Mando from season 1. Like, that's cool if this is an entry point into the franchise, because I'll tell you what, the seasons of the TV show, yes, there are lower episodes with Jack Black and Lizzo, but there are some really good fucking episodes in that show. It is a pretty good show overall. I think it's dipped more. I think season 3, I think, is probably the problem. Is season 3 was the worst season, so like the more recent stuff that we're seeing from it hasn't really met the highs of the first 2 seasons, but there's a lot of really, really good stuff packed into The Mandalorian as a TV show, and Grogu's cute and whatever, so, I don't know. Either way, Disney Plus, I think, is the move. I think that's the move. That's my recommendation. So, I think we ended up in the same place as
we
I
did
suspected we would. Not surprised based on, kind of how our conversation had gone prior to that point. But hey, there may not be a ton to spoil, but things did happen in this movie. So let's talk about it in full spoilers for The Mandalorian and Grogu.
What do you talk about, man?
I mean,
that guy with the hat was pretty cool.
The guy with the hat, the guy from Clone Wars, right?
Yeah.
Imbo. That's actually maybe a solid place to start. This movie, I think Embo is sort of a step in the right direction. This movie really could have used an actually cool, threatening villain. Like, Embo was cool, but I didn't think he did enough. There was, he barely speaks. He's kind of just there. He's a bounty hunter sort of thing.
Phantom Menace kind of guy.
Yeah, like all there's the Imperial guy in the beginning who's kind of a goof. And then I think, is there another Imperial guy who I think is also kind of a goof? Yeah, there's the Imperial guy in the beginning, and then there's the Lord Janu Coin, who's like the guy in charge of the gladiator games or whatever, but also he's an Imperial too, that he's the Imperial that Mando's been trying to find or whatever.
Which I will say, I think that I like the idea of an Imperial person like under the radar as that. It seems like a very Imperial...
hiding in plain sight in a sort of way, but I guess maybe he's in the outer room or something. I'm not even sure.
That's pretty cool. I think that's
everything.
Pretty
cool. It's cool, man. None of it's bad. I don't dislike any of it, but I just kind of felt like character wise, and maybe it's a meta commentary on neo-Nazis being fucking losers, in which case, all right, Johnny V, well played,
nailed it.
But I don't know. I just kind of felt like this movie really could have used I don't know. Star Wars has fucking cool villains. Every villain is kind of, I don't know, like there's something about Star Wars and villains that's a big kind of driving force, I feel like, for a lot of them. And I don't know, I just didn't really get that here. But Embo was kind of cool. I just think there just wasn't enough. And he's a late addition, he's probably not in until halfway through, and he's just sort of a hired gun, in a way. So I don't know. Those are some of my initial thoughts of, hey,
I thought it was diabolical.
Here's a way that they could have done more.
I thought it was pretty diabolical that they say that Rada's gonna live for like hundreds of years, and we're just gonna torture him for hundreds of years. It's like, goddamn, Hutts are fucking brutal.
Well, they're brutal, and also, I don't know what's going on. There's some weird shit going on. Are they kind of like? Are they with their? Is he with his sister? What's going on here? I think he might be. I think there might be some incestuous, some weird.
I don't know what's going on that temple too, because there was some.
There's like Amanda walks through, and there's like a bunch of other ones just being weird in pits and shit. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? Fucking
sex dungeon.
Yeah, I don't know.
I got those sex dungeon.
I don't want. I think so. Yeah, I think it's definitely implied that the Hutts, generally speaking, are just disgusting. And, yeah, sloth. The embodiment of sloth.
Laying around boning, whatever they're doing. Anyways, those worms.
Except for maybe Rada, right?
Rada's all about it. Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's been getting swole. He's been fighting. And
I'm not my father's kid. I'm not my father. Yeah, that's cool. It's cool to work,
I found it disconcerting to hear so many Hutts speaking in English.
It's a little weird too, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I didn't dislike Rada. I didn't dislike the storyline. Again, Rada getting sort of kidnapped and needing to be rescued is literally just the plot of the Clone Wars animated movie. It's fucking bizarre that they would try to do that again. I guess he's an adult now, so whatever. It just didn't feel like a movie's worth of content to me. I mean, I don't know if you feel differently.
No, I feel like it would have been. It belongs in a show.
That was an episode, maybe two. Of look, it's a fucking Hutt.
You could have done 3 episodes, like a 3-episode arc. Like, how they do, I think how Andor does the 3 episodes. You could have done a 3-episode deal.
Yes, like a little pod. This movie's a pod, and then there's another pod or two, for a season's worth of content.
And then for the second or third pod of the season, we could have advanced the Mando and the Grogu's fucking, like, search for Grogu's home.
I think that's what it is there's just nothing here. I think the closest it comes. Well, what's your tier? Let's talk about that. Maybe that's where it actually.
Yeah. So
tried to get into something emotional.
Yeah, it's when so the Mando gets bitten by that giant thing.
He gets poisoned or whatever, and so he's
he goes
basically dying.
Yeah,
slowly.
He saves Grogu and those wonderfully animated little guys. I don't know what the species is, but the little worker guys, and their ship is like a little itty bitty ship.
Oh yeah. The little Babu Fricks.
Yeah, the little Babu Fricks. Yeah, so they're all. I'm pretty sure they're all stop animated, and it looked fucking fantastic.
Well, I think if nothing else, they're probably puppets in the same way that Grogu is. But real tangible practical effects.
But their
not
ship
CGI.
Was a miniature for sure, and it looked so good.
The ship was funny. That was good. I loved. I think they're Anzellans, I think is the species. But yes.
Oh man, and they were fantastic. They were the best.
What a horrible baby. just I find them.
They're perfect.
Babu Frick was probably the best thing about The Rise of Skywalker. If you're gonna pull any one element out of that movie,
it's them.
This you've made the right choice.
Yeah, totally.
And bringing them in and making there be more of them, and they're just the one gets separated. They're always like just take this little tiny ship to go get their comrade back. I don't know. I love that. That was very that awesome. Was great to me.
It's a high point in the movie.
That was great. Anyway, I don't know if that was necessarily where the tier was from.
Well, anyways, he saves Grogu, and he's like, "You go. I'm going to get him away." And so he goes and he kicks ass. But then Grogu stays behind.
Oh yes, right. He doesn't.
And
go off,
and the Mando falls, and he thinks it's over. But Grogu finds him, and then he makes a little house. He stays day and night, and just taking care of the Mando while he's like in a coma or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
bonks his head a couple times.
He bonks his head a couple of times.
He's just a baby.
He's just trying to figure this shit out. He's just trying to take care of this guy. He doesn't
know exactly what he's doing.
Oh man,
he's getting.
And then he finds the guy that reminded me a lot of Sebulba. I know he's not Sebulba, but it kind of reminded me of Sebulba a little bit.
The fisherman guy.
Yeah.
You know?
And the fisherman guy says, and he protects Grogu for whatever reason. Just because it seems like the right thing to do, I guess.
Yeah, he's just a solid dude. Sometimes they're just solid dudes in the galaxy, you know?
And he gives him the recipe to solve the poison, the antidote for the poison. And he makes it, and he gives it. And I tell you what really got me is Grogu gives him that stuff, and he knocks on him. But it's not instant, and so he just decides to cuddle up into the armpit of the Mando. And that's how Bennett likes to cuddle with me. And he just cuddled in there.
I see.
And
so this was hitting you in a personal way.
Yeah,
sounds like.
and he just hoped that his dad, got healed, and then he came back, and then he was okay, and he wakes up in the morning and he's gone, and he runs out of the little hut that he built for his top half of his body, because it looked like a little Yoda hut made out of mud, which I thought was pretty cool. Anyways, he goes out there, and the Mando's washing off his helmet or some shit. I don't know. I can't remember. But he says, what's he say? The old take care of the young, and the young take care of the old. This is the way. And I was like, oh, it's so good. It's just simple. It's like a simple thing. It's nothing crazy. It shouldn't hit me as hard as it did, but it did.
Yeah. That's the message of this movie, I guess, in a way, is, just that, and and that's not bad. I think it's well done. Obviously,
just a simple idiom. It's so good though.
It hit and it's meaningful. But I think it's tough for that to be the movie.
You can't have
because you know what I mean.
You can't have
that's kind of it. That is kind of it. And again, I'm not discrediting that. I think that's well done. I think that is meaningful and important, and it does maybe at least, I guess, illustrate some growth in that relationship, the deepening trust between not necessarily master and apprentice, but some version
father
of
and son.
Yeah, I guess more simply, that's cool. That's great. That's cool. I just need a little bit more. I just need a little bit more than that.
Right. This 15-minute segment can't be
Grogu is maturing a little bit. He still doesn't speak. He's mostly cooing and being a little silly and cute. And hey, I love that. That's all great. Great fun. Again, what does that offer, in a theatrical experience that we didn't already get in however many episodes of this TV show that we couldn't have gotten on Disney Plus in another season? You know what I mean? And I don't know. I was just waiting for it to take that leap to something else. Because there's some, the New Republic comes to, I guess, Nal Hutta or whatever at the end, and and so there's some space.
Dude, we didn't even talk about
dogfighting a little bit, but
there's that sequence that looked like it was straight from what the fuck movie was that? Like Apocalypse Now or something, with the X-wings coming in front of the sun. It looks so good.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's listen.
Cool.
If there's a Star Wars convention and that's a painting, I'm fucking buying it.
That's yours. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, no, I think
what else was there?
There's cool stuff in here. I don't know. I don't know if I'm sounding like a negative Nancy or anything like that. I just kind of felt like
this is kind of disappointing.
A lot of cool stuff doesn't necessarily add up to holy shit, what a fucking movie.
And you know what?
A
lot of it's disappointment. Cool. It's an opportunity, is what it is. There's some really good stuff in The Mandalorian, and it just didn't fucking deliver anything really meaningful.
I don't even need it to be tethered, in the way that season 2 spoilers, like Luke showing up. I didn't need that. I don't need Luke Skywalker showing up.
No,
I don't necessarily need it to be that, but I kind of feel like
I want the Mandalorian and Grogu to advance the relationship or advance the plot of. That's what I want. I want the if I'm not mistaken, I might be. The Mandalorian is supposed to be finding Grogu's people.
I don't even know. I think he was trying to find him Like, he knows he's force sensitive, so he delivered him to Luke in season 2. And then in an episode of Boba Fett, he says, actually, Grogu wants to be with Mando because Mando's his dad, and Luke's cool and all, but, you know, I'm not about that life. So he goes back to be with Mando. And then season 3, I don't know. He swims around with the thing, and, you know, and there's stuff with Bo-Katan. But, like, I don't even remember where we left things with season 3, to be quite honest.
It's
like,
because
I don't know.
A lot of it's fucking forgettable. It's not good.
Clearly, status quo in this is he's working for the New Republic, taking bounties, hunting down, you know, old Imperials, which I think is cool. That's, you know, he's kind of a good, you know, aligned bounty hunter. But, you know, he's not necessarily doing it because he in himself is the most good-hearted, good-natured person. I mean, he is. I think he is very much that. But, you know, he's not. That's
cool.
He's still kind of doing it for money, for love of the game in some ways. Like, I don't know. I just kind of felt like Mando doesn't go anywhere other than maybe trusting Grogu a little bit more. Grogu doesn't really go anywhere other than continuing to be loyal to Mando, which is not anything really new or novel, but that's it, you know? Ahsoka set up, I don't know, things that were far bigger in scale, you know, the world beyond world, like stuff that Rebels dealt with a little bit, you know, and Thrawn and this kind of whole side of things where it's just like, I thought we were building towards that. And I know we're getting season 2 of Ahsoka, which I'm sure will do a lot more work in that direction.
Well, why didn't we do anything here either, you know? Oh,
but I think if you're...
I have a thought.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to derail.
No, go for it.
So he's torturing... They torture Rada. I think it's Rada.
Rada, yeah.
They're torturing Rada, and they pull off the Mandalorian's helmet, which is disgraceful and all this shit. And they say they're going to start torturing Grogu, and I was like, oh, you could see that he gets pissed, right? They start hitting on that sore spot, but they also hint to the fact that they know about Grogu. They talk about much like Grogu can live to be 1,000 years old, Rada lives a long time too, or something like that. So it's almost like the Hutts know about the species of Yoda. I don't know if you picked up on that. I picked up on that, and it's like, well, I want more.
I hadn't really thought about that. So, like, yeah, like maybe, like, what should we be finding, like, where his home is, so he can reunite with?
Well,
I
think there were implications that they planted in this movie.
The Hutts know
the Hutts
know things that could be, you know, helpful to learn.
Yeah, they know something about his species or something, right?
Well, if he was going to try to learn it from brother and sister,
I think they got fucked. Well, they both got fucked up by that.
Well, maybe the Hutt twins, maybe they share their knowledge with the other Hutts that were doing weird shit. Fucking
I don't know,
sex dungeon place.
But maybe Rada knows about the Yoda guy too, because
maybe that's true. Yeah, could very well could.
I don't know. There was that one little bit in there. It's like, okay, so there's something that they can that's going to advance this storyline that we've got 4 seasons of or 3 seasons of whatever. 3
plus, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. Yeah. I don't know. I just think that the ship was cool, but again, it's like, oh, he's just going back to having his old ship. Okay, I liked the old ship. That's cool, but like,
was it cooler than the Naboo ship? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't love the Naboo ship. So
you're not a big fan of the Naboo ships. I love the fucking stainless steel chrome Naboo ships. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Razor Crest has a particular charm.
It's got like a Serenity kind of charm to it, I think.
Yeah. And I don't know. It just kind of felt like, all right, we got to get back to Mando status quo and then just leave them there and do nothing else. I don't know. I just think there could have been something bigger picture that would have felt like this is why this is a theater movie. Not just because we've upped the budget to make it look a little bit better and longer than a standard episode of The Mandalorian, but because there was a big story that needed this particular
That's what thing. I thought.
It to me felt like Disney went to Johnny V and said, hey, we need a Star Wars movie. What do you think about doing Mando on the big screen? As opposed to Johnny V going to Disney and saying, I have a story that is too big, budget wise, scale wise, to be told, as season 4, because this isn't even season 4. I mean, he's talked about that. Like he had a version of season 4 written, and none of that is this. Like, this is completely separate to what has intended and maybe will still happen in the future.
3.5 is that what it is?
Yeah, this is kind of just its own sort of adventure, and I think it feels that way because it's, again, something that's not reliant on the prior seasons of The Mandalorian, really, because character-wise, what's the crossover? Mando and Grogu and I guess maybe the Anzellans. Sigourney Weaver's a new character here.
Oh, you get the guy from Rebels. What's his name?
You get Zeb, which is cool. I think he's in one episode of Mando prior to this where he's very briefly. So, like for all intents and purposes, like,
it appears that he's going to be a staple fans of Mandalorian now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, like, and which is cool, and that's great. That's very cool for fans of Rebels, But otherwise, as from a general audience standpoint, like, he's just kind of a fun, cool guy in there. But that's it, So I don't know. Martin Scorsese's the fucking shopkeeper that doesn't want to talk about things on the planet. That's very funny.
Oh, that was that was Scorsese.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Old Marty making his way to the Star Wars universe. The gladiator sequence was fun. The arena sequence was interesting. I have a sort of fun fact about that I didn't realize until after seeing this movie. But I'll get to that in my catching up because it's relevant. I could just do it now. It's fine. Merging into catching up. It's the first thing that is listed in my catching up section. But we rewatched Star Wars, the 1977 film.
Wow.
On the Millennium Falcon, there is a game board of a game called Dejeric, where it's little monsters fighting each other. Little stop motion monsters fighting each other.
Yeah.
And those monsters are exactly the monsters that are in that arena sequence. Down to a T.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
They're doing the same moves. It's called a Dejeric match, which is because that's the name of that, like, little chess type game in A New Hope. So that's very. It's like an obvious visual reference, and yet I didn't realize what they were doing until seeing Mando. Then we watched
even down to the moves that they were doing. Now that you say that,
down to the moves they were doing like one suplexes the other or something like that. Like, that's just straight up what the fucking pieces do in the movie.
That's pretty cool.
Which is really fun. I'm like, I kind of feel like an idiot for not realizing that at the time. But
now that you say that, I can totally picture it.
So, like, that's pretty fun. That's cool. That's the kind of thing I'm like, all right, because when I watched the movie, I was just kind of like, I don't know, this arena sequence isn't that exciting. Like, we got an arena and Attack of the Clones. It was fine, I don't know. Just the arena stuff never really does it for me with big monsters fighting. Just, I don't know, Gladiator two-head sharks and shit, you know what I mean? So, I'm like, I've seen some arena sequences. It's fine. It's nothing. It's not bad, but it doesn't wow me. But that actually made me appreciate it a lot more, being like, okay, I see what they were trying to do here. That's kind of fun, actually. And he got rotted with fucking 2 big axes or whatever. Like, all right, that's kind of fun. Right. Fucking buff worm man, with axes. Okay, fine. It's not bad. It's kind of fun. Yeah. I don't know that there's much else to get into.
There's not a whole lot in this movie.
No, nothing like that. No real sequel setup. Just on to the next adventure. Teach Grogu how to fly.
Those robots are really cool. That stop motion animation with those robots were my favorite by far.
And I knew they were going to, like, we kind of go past them towards the beginning of the movie. I'm like, well, those fuckers are doing something later in the movie because we've seen it in the trailer, but it was very cool to see it, actually, when it did.
And they're all fucking rickety and shit. That was cool. Very, very cool. Much cooler than the rest of the movie, I think. It was just my favorite part by far.
Yeah, totally fair. I liked the big dragon snake thing. I thought that was
pretty cool.
Actually.
It looked cool. That
neat.
dragon snake thing looked pretty cool.
That was a cool design. That looked good, like CGI wise. That was definitely not. I think
big white worm.
That was a good effect there. I think. The AT-AT stuff was like fine for me, CGI wise. The arena stuff was fine.
Yeah, I thought that. I don't know.
Amazing.
they had the sequence where that little 2-legged thing was running down, the thing that he rides on, you know?
Yeah. I feel like
that motherfucker would flip over. You'd be done with that. That thing would flip the fuck over.
Yeah.
It'd be awful.
Some physics based issues there, but maybe physics operate differently in a galaxy far, far away.
That's true.
Who's to say? I guess they probably would, right? Anything else? Is there anything else?
No,
here?
not really. I don't have a whole lot.
What do you think? Mandalorian and Grogu 2?
I would.
Or do you just want season 4?
Yeah, just give me season 4. It's fine.
Yeah, I think Ahsoka season 2, Mando
Tighten
season 4.
up season 4. I still want. Give me a tight season 4. I just want tight episodes in the show. You know what I mean? No, I don't want a lot of episodes. Just give me tight seasons.
I don't think that's unreasonable.
Yeah, It'd save you some money too. You don't make the bloat.
Yeah, we don't need the Jack Black episode. We really don't actually.
No. Don't need a lot of episodes. We definitely don't need Boba Fett.
Yeah. Boba was cool in the Mando, and then he got his own show, and it's like, oh, it's kind of lame, actually.
It's actually
how'd they make him so fucking lame?
God damn. Yeah.
Well, he spends half the show of his own show, isn't he? Isn't he on the fucking back to juice? You know, he's just getting juiced up and
like fucking guys riding around those scooters.
The scooter people. I mean, if we're gonna say any nice things about the Mandalorian and Grogu, it's definitely better than the Book of Boba Fett.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah,
it's not even bad. It's just kind of nothing. I think nothing is disappointing too. You know, I didn't think it was bad. I had fun. I enjoyed it. I would watch it again. I just wanted more.
It could be more.
It could have been more.
It could have been more.
Yeah, it absolutely could have been more. So, well,
that's it for me.
I mean,
it could have been more.
Yeah, that's it. Me. I will, continue to watch these things, but I think the lasting impact of this is probably going to be Ludwig's score. I think I will
That's true. It was a good one.
Fire that up more than I will.
It was a good one too. It's got some good beats in it. Good bop.
It's not quite a Tron Ares situation, but sort of a similar thing of the score is better than the movie itself.
That's right.
So, yeah. All right. Well. You heard the first thing on my list of catching up, so there's that. But what about you? I don't think we've actually talked about the birthday weekend and how that all went.
Oh yeah. So I now have a 3-year-old. I have grown a human to 3 years old, which is an accomplishment.
Congrats on making it to the 3-year mark of.
I feel good.
Your child
I have nurtured a child until 3 years old. He seems to be a semi-respect. He's very empathetic, which is very good.
That's good.
I have a cut on my finger. He asked me the next day, "Daddy, how's your finger?" Very empathetic child. Very good. I've done good. Empathy is a big thing. So that's a high note. He seems pretty respectful, so that's good, and he's alive.
He's not hulking out on kids as much these days.
No. So that's
terrible.
good.
Terrible twos are over.
He does have quite the tude. Sometimes he says, "Daddy, stop talking to me," and that sort of thing. So sometimes he does have a little bit of an attitude.
He's got opinions. He's not afraid to share them.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. So, but he does say please and thank you, which is nice. So I feel like I'm doing okay. It's good. This weekend coming up, we are going to have a 1-year-old again.
Man,
little Bobo. Little Bobo's going to be 1 year old.
1-year-old birthday party.
1-year-old birthday party. This one's going to be a lot. It's going to be more low key. It's going to be at the house. Okay. So that's good. But Bobo's doing well as well. So that's good. And Sarah's out for summertime. So we have been watching things. We watched a movie on Netflix called Apex. Has got
yeah. This almost made it to a Bruised News and Previews trailer reel, and I was just like, I don't know about this one. I don't know. So why don't you tell me? Is it Charlize that's in it?
Yeah, Charlize Theron and Egerton.
Yeah. Go, because he's like a weird guy hunting her. Or
Maybe. Did they talk about that?
Allegedly. I feel like the trailer spoiled more than it probably should have.
Okay, well,
yeah,
because he started out kind of nice. He's the nice guy that stops the crazy fucking Bush guys from like hitting on her and stuff. But it turns into River Wild. Was that movie where with Kevin Bacon and Meryl Streep?
Oh yeah, maybe
Colorado River. I grew up with that movie. I like that movie a lot. I think it's River Wild.
1994, Meryl Streep and Kevin Bacon, The River Wild. Yeah.
Boom! Yeah. Look at that. Look at me pulling
David
it out.
Strathairn.
It's very much River Wild with a little bit more. It's a little bit more grotesque and a little bit more edge. Because now we're more accustomed to a little bit more edge, I think is what it is. It is very well for me as a I'm not as I try to remain an avid movie goer. We have a podcast for movies, but I feel like I can't watch as much as I would like. But I still call myself an avid movie goer. As an avid movie goer, I would say is very predictable. Very predictable movie. I called it from the beginning, almost beat by beat, all the way from the beginning. Sarah was very impressed. It's totally fine. It's totally okay. I tell you what, it makes you want to take a vacation because there's some the cinematography in the movie is pretty good. And it has it does some remarkable landscape shots and that sort of like the B-rolls and stuff. It's shot in some very beautiful locations. I like Charlize Theron, and I'll be honest with you, I like Egerton. I think he's pretty.
As far as actor, go, that's a fun. And I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Charlize plays a lot of badasses. I don't know if
she's badass in this.
Also movie. A badass in this one, yeah. But I feel like it feels a little bit more against type for Taryn, which is cool. Yeah,
it was pretty fun. Fun Netflix movie. I don't regret watching it. I had a lot of fun with it.
Some movies are okay to just be streaming movies. It's not.
It's okay.
It's somewhat of a pejorative, but that's okay. You kind of meet it on its own terms. You know what I mean? It's a different sort of thing. Different expectations.
Yeah, exactly. And I had a good time watching it with that. So it's totally good. We watched a documentary called, I think, The Crash. It's also on Netflix.
This is about the fucking teenager, right? That killed her boyfriend and friend or something like that.
Yeah, drove like 100 miles an hour into the side of a wall or something. We watched that. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of these kinds of movies. I don't care for them a whole lot. I don't know.
Like
I don't know.
True crime documentaries. Like
I don't know. I didn't like that one that was set in Florida last year. We talked about it. I think briefly in like an Oscar thing.
The one that was Oscar nominated.
Yeah, that one was like about kids and stuff losing their family. It's like, it's big. I don't know. Like, whenever I can pinpoint my feelings about these real life movies, I will articulate it in a good way. I feel like I can't articulate why I don't care for these things.
What do you like documentaries as a
maybe it's a doc. No, I don't feel like I don't have a problem with documentaries.
Yeah, I feel like you never expressed that problem.
I like documentaries. I just I don't know. Like I don't know what it is. It's hard for me to articulate. I don't know what makes me feel with the other one. It's easy for me to tell you why I don't like the other one. The other one that it just makes me feel uncomfortable. Maybe that's why I don't like it. It makes me feel uncomfortable, right? So when I watched the other one that was it took place in Florida with the kids that the mom was shot, and like it has the
perfect stranger.
The perfect stranger, yeah. So it was hard for me to watch these kids lose their mom, and it's like I hope. It just, I don't know. I feel like it again, it's hard for me to articulate why I feel uncomfortable with it, but it's almost like, I think Anna probably used much better vocabulary to describe why I probably feel uncomfortable with it. It almost feels like I think people monetize these terrible situations. Right? Like we put it on the forefront and people are making money on these horrible things.
Right. I think that's probably fair of who's making the money from, like, who is this actually benefiting?
Well, and it benefits a lot of people, right? It can benefit the people that lost the mother, but it also benefits Netflix.
Right. Like, yeah, like if it's going in the pockets of the people who were actually,
and it does,
the victims of it. Yeah, but the fact that it's also,
but somebody says this is going to be a money, this is going to be a money maker.
I guess I sort of understand. Like,
and for somebody to win and I don't like it was a well-made documentary and it was a well-told story, right? Or not? Yeah, like it was well-told.
Well-told story of something that actually happened in real life, which is nuts. But that's our world,
Yeah, and like we're gonna. Somebody's gonna win an award. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just soft on this sort of stuff, right? Like, and I'm maybe not naive is the right word, but the fact that we can celebrate this story being told about these people losing their parents and this terrible thing, I don't know. I just feel kind of, and I don't begrudge anybody watching it and getting something from it. It's not that I view people negatively for watching it, but me personally, I don't feel right watching it. You know what I mean? I just feel kind of dirty watching it. I don't like it. So when we watch the one that we watched about these people, I don't like watching this teenager drive these other teenagers into a fucking wall and killing people. I don't, it's just hard for me to...
That is objectively bad, so...
It's hard for me to watch, and then they put her on screen, and she's just so detached from reality. It's like, it's hard for me to, like... It's hard for me to watch it. I feel a particular way about these people, and I don't like feeling this way towards another person. You know what I mean? It's just hard for me to watch, and I just don't care to watch it. So it's hard for me to... I don't know how to quite articulate my feelings on it. Other than the fact that they make me uncomfortable watching it. And I don't think there's a lot of mediums there's not a lot of stories or movies or whatever that make me feel very uncomfortable. But these ones that are shot from the police cameras and just they're just very visceral, and they're obviously real. You know what I mean? And I don't get entertainment value out of them. And they're hard for me to watch. They're not hard for me to watch. It's like they make me feel uncomfortable. I will watch them, so, but I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, it's, I guess maybe something a little gross about, you having nothing to do with this, being involved with something that is such a horrible event that's happened in real people's lives. I guess maybe, and then like the way it's portrayed, it wants me to, like, obviously it wants me to draw an opinion from this stuff, and obviously I do. Yeah. I mean, and that to me reads as, that's obviously, that's a documentary. They present to you a point of view of things, and, a lot, and most, if not all, have their own viewpoint, that it's not necessarily we're a neutral observer, draw your own conclusions. It's, no, we're editing this and presenting this in a way and taking this footage that, we probably have, hundreds of hours of footage. We're breaking it down into 3 episodes, 4 episodes, whatever it is, and in a very curated package, that is intending to tell you this finite amount of information, give you, I've watched, a decent amount of stuff. We haven't watched The Crash. We haven't watched, she watched The Perfect Stranger. Obviously you guys talked about it. I didn't end up watching it. But we watched the Ellen Greenberg documentary on, I think it's on HBO Max. I don't know if you know anything about that. No. Probably a similar sort of thing. That one's a fucking bizarre case. But there was... Yeah, we dabble here and there.
And same reason why, like, we talk, my neighbor's a firefighter, and then Ben's best friend's a firefighter, and they talk about all the perks of the firefighter, like you work like 2 or 3 days a week. It's great. But you also got to pull a dead kid out of a car. Not for me. Same reason I couldn't do what you and Anna do. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can't. It's just I can't. It's just not for me.
Yeah, no, there's lots of unpleasant things about what we do
in the world
in very different ways from each other and about the world. And yeah,
I just prefer my naive little fucking rose tinted glasses.
Just give me a fucking robot guy and his little green baby kid. That's all right.
That's good enough for me. Yeah. So thank you for all the people that do the things that I can't do.
Mandalorian.
Because I can't. I'm not. It just people are cut from different cloths and capable of different things that I'm not.
Yeah, for sure.
What else have we been up to? I downloaded an awesome video game called 007. It is a spectacular video game that I have not had enough time to enjoy. I think that you would very much enjoy this video game. It's very much a movie put into a video game package.
It's on my long list of things to get around to at some point in my life. Maybe this year. Maybe.
I intend to fully finish this video game. I'll play it when I can. So we watched The Crash, played 007, we watched Apex, I feel like we watched something else too, I can't quite remember. I know that I watched another movie. I started Spider-Noir, episode 1 is, started that in black and white. It's, perfect for Nick Cage, it's shot very cool. I'm 110% in for it. Episode 1 was great.
Okay.
Cool. We will be continuing and finishing that. Man, I watched something. I can't remember what it was. I need to write the shit down. Can't remember. I finished a deck for Magic. I changed my Divine Glory deck. And I made it more concentrated, so it should be better. It should play better. It should be a little bit stronger, and I've called it the Call of Gondor. It made it more of a human-centric deck, which would be pretty cool. Just a bunch of humans with a little bit of enchantments and
Rohan
stuff.
will answer.
Yes. And that's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm saying. Just like that, when I play my cards, like a super fucking nerd. Big nerd.
You're playing Magic. You're already a big fucking nerd. I don't know if that's news to you.
I play the Horn of Gondor.
Okay.
I play the Horn of Gondor. I say, Rohan will answer. Just like that when I slap it on the table. And everybody laughs because everybody knows that it's a good time. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, man. Like what you like.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so that's about it. That's fucking awesome. I'm gonna definitely do that.
Oh man! All right,
what have you been up to?
Go through my quick little list here. As I said, watched Star Wars 77, the 4K 77. It's the fan restoration to make it nice, but preserve the original thing without all of George's bullshit changes. We're getting a fucking theatrical re-release in February next year, which should be like an official version of the original theatrical version. So I'm very excited to see an unvarnished version of it, not the fan restoration of it, next year. Let's see. I did start Star Wars Maul as well, Shadow Lord. I think you watched some of that. I don't know.
I did watch some of that. It's another one I needed to talk about. I forgot about that. Yes.
Okay. All right. We're just 2 episodes in, but it's cool so far. I'll continue to check in on that as we make some progress. It's short episodes, so should be pretty easy to fly through. But cool so far. Enjoying it so far.
I think I'm like 4 or 5 episodes into that one. Very good.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
Okay. I know I've talked about it a lot over the past couple of years. ER season 15.
Jesus Christ.
I think I just did the math. We have, I think, 6 episodes left, and I think there's also like a series retrospective special episode. So 7, I guess, if you look at it that way. Noah Wiley just came back. It's pretty fun. Mr. The Pit himself,
the Pit's
coming back to the show.
That dude's something else. He's awesome. Has he been in like anything? Like, has he been only hospital procedurals? Because he's a pretty excellent actor, really.
I think he has been, but just not in anything that we've watched. To be honest, like I couldn't tell you a single.
I guess you like what you like if that's what you like to act in.
Filmography. Well, I mean, and obviously it's probably one of those things. Like ER was kind of the big start of his career, and did some other stuff, and now is having a bit more of a late career resurgence by kind of going back to the well, but doing it his way. Because he's what, a producer and stuff on the Pit. So. Yeah, I don't know what else he's really been in that we would have seen, but yeah, he did some TV stuff. Falling Skies had a role on. The Librarians.
Oh, The Librarian was a big one. I remember that.
Leverage Redemption, which I think was
that sounds like
revival
shit.
of Leverage, of which I didn't watch either version of it. So yeah, he's been in stuff. He's been doing stuff, but I think ER was the big one, like I said, and then The Pit obviously is
the big one.
Obviously very big these days. But on the season 15 front of ER, I forgot to mention it in the Mortal Kombat episode. I was so distracted talking about Chadwick Boseman appearing on screen with Angela Bassett. I forgot to mention that Chadwick Boseman's character's dad was played by none other than Carl fucking Weathers.
Are you? Whoa, that's a star-studded deal right there, right?
That was a really impressive star-studded little episode there, and of course Carl Weathers, no longer with us, unfortunately. I feel like he almost certainly would have appeared in this movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu, had he.
I didn't know Carl Weathers passed. Did I know Carl Weathers passed away?
Well, we talked about it, but I think it's
how long ago was that?
It's one of those things you probably like, wow, that sucks, and then you're just like, I'm just going to pretend that didn't happen. 2024, February of 2024, he passed away. So it's been over a couple of years now since that happened. But I'm sure we talked about it in 2024. But
definitely, I'm sure we did.
There's lots of things that happen in life that
stars they live on for eternity.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, it was.
I remember
impressive. Oh yeah, you remember? Oh, there was another movie that you or something.
I watched the Sam Raimi movie.
Oh fuck! Send Help.
Send Help. I watched Send Help.
Shit. Oh, that's right, because it's on Hulu or Disney Plus now. Yeah,
yes,
it's streaming now. All right. Well, I have seen Send Help. I'm curious to see what you thought about it.
I thought it was delightful. I really liked that movie. I thought it was wildly hilarious.
We agree. I thought it was way more Sam Raimi coded than I thought it was going to be.
Way more.
Which is great. That's a very good thing, I think.
Man, I thought it was hysterical. I thought it was hilarious. I laughed my ass off the entire movie.
I was impressed
so
they managed to find a hideous monster like Rachel McAdams to cast him. He was a hideous monster.
It was just so funny because she started the movie off and she had like the giant the wart, and she's like, or not the wart, it was like a mole or something. Yeah. She had a mole, the tuna. And they made her like this she wasn't disgusting looking, but they made her.
She was a slob.
They did a good job of making her like
kind of baggy, ill-fitting clothes, just kind of yeah.
And then when she gets to the island, she looks great. She's like bathing in the waterfall and shit, and she's better than she's ever looked, and it was awesome. I thought the movie was absolutely hilarious. I thought it was very well made. I had a very good time with that movie.
That was a very fun movie. Fun experience. That was one that was fun to watch in theaters, but I'm sure it was also fun to watch at home. So
I had a very good time watching it at home. Yeah. My biggest regret is not watching it in theaters.
Yeah. Well,
seems like a very good theater movie. I would have had a good time with that one. Very creative, well-written movie. Very good.
I agree. That was a good early 2026 movie that I enjoyed quite a bit. Yeah. You still got to watch The Bone Temple. That's the other one that was like
Okay.
No, I think you might find something more in that one.
Well, Sarah's not a big Sam Raimi guy, apparently. She watched it and she's like, I probably when the airplane was decompressing and there was like it's very much Sam Raimi.
It was a little goofy, but in a Raimi sort of way. You're
either there for it or you're not.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would agree. Let's see. I don't have much left, so no, that's pretty much it. I'm still chugging along on the Mortal Kombat train. I've got two issues of the comics, the prequel comics for Mortal Kombat X. So I was like getting antsy, so I've been playing more and more of the story and just treating the comics as flashbacks. But I'm still playing. We'll see how long, until I get bored of Mortal Kombat. I've been meaning to start the animated movies and haven't done that yet. But I would like to. We've been watching. This is the last thing. We've been watching a lot of the Stanley Cup final. It's the Carolina Hurricanes and the the Vegas Golden Knights. The loss is not part of the team name. Incredible series so far. Coming into it mostly as a neutral because the Flyers are out. The Vegas coach is John Tortorella, who was the former Flyers coach for a few years.
Okay.
Technically coached the Lightning when they won in 2004. It was very bizarre. They fired their head coach with like 8 games left in the season, hired Torts, and they've done really well in the playoffs. Obviously, they made it to the final. Their goalie is a former Flyer goalie who, let's say, went on trial in Canada for things. Was acquitted, but I think things that came to light in that definitely objectionable from a moral standpoint.
What did he go? What was he on trial for?
It was a sexual assault allegations. So, like I said, acquitted, but definitely some things that were testified to that made you think less of someone like that. And so been rooting against him because it's kind of just like, fuck this guy, starting goalie in a team in the final, like just feels like a gross thing. So, it's been an incredible series. I've been rooting for the Canes because they have they have a couple of former Flyers on the roster. Their GM, this is something Anna told me, their GM used to be a blogger for the Flyers, which is like insane, like career trajectory. So back in there's 4 games. It's tied 2-2 as of recording this. So it's going to go at least 6. Every single game has featured a team blowing a multiple goal lead, and game 3 was fucking insane. Vegas scored 6 goals in the second period. 2 were disallowed. I think 1 was offside. I forget what the other one, goalie interference, I think for the other one, but they scored 4 goals. It was scoreless going into the second. They went up 4-0. They then promptly gave up 4 goals in the third period to Carolina, went to overtime, and then, I think it maybe went to double overtime. And then Vegas ended up winning on this fluky shot that went off the back behind the goal and then bounced and hit the skate of the goallie and ricocheted into the goal.
And how are you watching these games?
Supreme bullshit. Just on TV,
just at home.
Just at home. There's nothing local for us to watch, so yeah, we're just watching them at home. But I mean, just the most insane. Wild there have been multiple points in these games where I'm just like, this game's over. There's no fucking way. And every time a team has stormed back to just make it at a minimum competitive. Like I think every single goal, the first 3 games were all decided by a goal. Yesterday was game 4. It was technically a 2-goal difference at the end, but because one was an empty netter, and it was like the most bullshit empty netter that like just happened to ricochet off the sidewall and then go perfectly down the middle of the goal, like just video game shit that you cannot make up. It's been an incredible watch so far. I'm hoping that Carolina pulls it out at the end of the day. It's not going to hurt my feelings with either of these teams winning. They're not they're not the Flyers.
But it's so fun to watch, yeah.
But as someone, who's just, wouldn't have said this a few years ago, just appreciates, I guess, at this point in my life, a good hockey game. Thanks, Anna, for converting me.
Hockey's pretty fucking fun to watch, dude.
You cannot ask for fucking better hockey matchups than what you've gotten in these 4 games. Like, I've never been invested in, like, playoffs as much, mostly because the Flyers haven't been in it in a good while prior to this year. But
even live hockey, though, live hockey is just fun to watch.
Yeah, no, for sure. Great fun. So anyway, that's it. That's what I've been up to for I guess past couple weeks. So I think we can go ahead and wrap it up. Unless is there a third movie you forgot about to talk about?
No, it was Send Help, and then the documentary, and then Apex, and watch Stand Up Comedy Guy on Netflix, but I can't remember his name. It's pretty good. we had to finish it. But yeah, that's all it. That's it.
Well, that's it for this episode then. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please spread the word. We are on Patreon at patreon.com/watchreviewrepeat. You can get early access to all of our regular episodes. You will also get timed exclusive access to any bonus episodes that we work on in the future. We are fresh out of bonus episodes because we did put up Jason and the Argonauts on the regular feed, as we kind of talked about earlier. We'll
find another.
Andrew, about that. I think we can do one more pre the Odyssey. I think we can. I think we have time. We just got to figure out what it's going to be, and watch the thing, and then record on the thing. So Anna thinks we should do Pegasus.
You got to whisper it. You got to whisper it. Pegasus.
She thinks we should do Pegasus. She's saying it in hushed whispers to put it into my brain.
I kind of like the idea of whispering Pegasus, though. It's a good whisper word.
Well, we can just do a whole bonus episode where we whisper
ASMR.
Pegasus the whole time. Could be.
Pegasus.
So yeah, well, stay tuned. We'll figure it out. Andrew and I will have an off-air conversation and see if we can manage another bonus episode before the Odyssey. We're
a couple weeks out, dude. Oh my!
A little more than a couple weeks. It's still.
I don't know if I'll be able to catch it. I'm sure that it's sold out where I want to watch it. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, they put up all the 70 millimeter IMAX stuff, and it's like they have like showings at 2 a.m. and they're like half sold out. And I'm like, number one.
Can you do
maybe
it?
10 years ago I could do that. No way.
No.
This movie is going to be 3 hours long. No, I can't do that. But all the the normal show times, like there's nothing left. It's madness. Cool that it's doing obviously so well.
There was a really cool thing. I think you could look it up on X. I saw it on X. I think whatever.
Yeah.
It feels so weird to say X. I saw it on the internet that they have a video of the different the way the aspect ratios are.
There's a website where you can I think you can toggle it to see here's
what you will get
full IMAX frame, or here's what it'll be in Dolby versus there's I think it's an official website that just kind of helps illustrate the different aspect ratios and quality and stuff that you can get with each format, which is really cool. We booked for just LIMAX because I think it'll still have the expanded ratio. I would like to see it in 70 millimeter IMAX because it's like a 45-minute drive. It's doable, but I did look for tickets, and there's just fucking nothing outside of 2 a.m. that I'm comfortable spending $30 on. I don't want to spend $30 to be in the front row of a fucking IMAX 70 millimeter. That's not worth it. So and neither is seeing it at 2 a.m. I probably could.
Could you see it in the middle of the week or anything?
I checked. They're
surely
they're
for
crazy.
those
maybe the 1 o'clocks. They're there's 8:15 in the morning show times that aren't so bad. I'm I have to take a day off work. I have to drive up to King of Prussia at fucking 7 a.m. No, there's no fucking planet in which that's happened. Not a chance. Not a chance. Sorry, Christopher Nolan. I cannot do that.
I'm sure, but they have to be in theater. If you have an auditorium that is what's the word? I can't think of the word right now. We've gone on too long. That is not digital. What's the word?
Analog.
Got an analog theater that takes 70 millimeter film. Surely they show that film longer, right? Do they not? I think that this is going to stay in IMAX as long as is literally possible for it to stay in IMAX. I don't know. Spider-Man, I think, is 2 weeks after, so I don't know if it's going to run into issues there. I wouldn't be surprised if Spider-Man gets IMAX for a week or two and then they fucking bring back the Odyssey, I can't believe you live so close to a 70 millimeter fucking IMAX movie theater. That's incredible. That is so cool.
No, it's close enough that it's accessible. It's also a huge pain in the ass, and but very cool. I mean, I saw Dune Part 2. That's the last thing I saw there, and I'll probably see Part 3. And I would love to see the Odyssey that way. So I will try to make it happen. I think for my first viewing, it's just going to be the standard Limax that we usually go to for Limax things, which is,
Well,
good.
I haven't reserved anything.
It's no IMAX.
I hope to
70
God
millimeter,
it's
but
not Brandon. I will do what I need to do.
I think pretty much everything for the first couple weeks is more or less. So I guess you don't have A-list. Otherwise, I'd say just do like 4 reservations and just be like, yeah, one of these I'll do probably. So you'll figure it out, I'm sure.
I will definitely
anyway,
figure it out.
We've been derailed. And this is usually not where we get derailed, but
Usually we get derailed at midnight. We're derailed at an hour in.
It feels like midnight if we're being honest with each other, but it's only like 10 o'clock. It's really not bad. Anyway, patreon.com/watchreviewrepeat. Check it out. Our website is watchreviewrepeat.com. You can also check that out. We're also on many social medias. We're on Instagram at Watch Review Repeat. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/Watch Review Repeat. We're on Blue Sky, watchreviewrepeat.bsky.social. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can send them our way to watchreviewrepeat@gmail.com. And we'll feature that on a listener's corner on a future episode. The show is produced by Anna Mattis. There's also suggestions for bonus episodes from Anna Mattis in case people couldn't figure out what was going on there. I'm not sure how much was audible or not. As she delivered Obi to the room to try to get him to eat some food. He's not eating right now. He's just sitting by the door waiting to escape. Intro and outro track for the show is Mechanolith by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, which is licensed under the Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. We haven't totally talked about it yet, but I think, well, I guess we did. I think what we said at the end of our Mortal Kombat episode is we're going to do some combination of Mandalorian and Grogu and Brews news and previews because we haven't done one in a while, and obviously we just did the Mandalorian and Grogu, so I think Brews news and previews is probably what we have on deck. Means Andrew doesn't have to see anything in theaters, doesn't have to watch anything at home necessarily. So it's a pretty easy prep episode. You got to watch some trailers, right?
Easy.
So I think maybe that's the move. We've got some stuff that we could watch that we might continue watching on the side. Some other, like Disclosure Day, I think comes out this weekend. So that's another potential theater movie that we could be interested in. Spielberg. Sci-fi shit. Supergirl's the end of the month. So no, there's balls in the air. Toy Story. Maybe take some kiddos to Toy Story. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. I think if nothing else, we'll try to keep it easy on ourselves for next week and stay at home. I think that's going to be it for this episode. I will let you take our listeners out.
Well, take care now. Bye then.
Laters on the Menche, or should I say, this is the way.